Hello everybody and welcome to the June 2023 update from Clydebridge station. I've started work and started filming on what is a very nice sunny afternoon in May. I've done a bit of gardening, and obviously the garden's going to take a bit of priority over the layout, as you can understand with the beautiful weather we've got. Now, there's two things that's going to be happening this month on the layout. We're going to resurface platforms 5 and 6 and reinstall the equipment that's on those platforms, along with a couple of additions. And I'm also going to be installing a new sign to hide the join at the retail park area between Halfords and B&Q. There'll be the shout outs for other layouts as well, or that may be of interest to you, and I'll also be giving shout outs to some other people as well. Before we start this month's update, however, I want to talk to you about a friend of mine who I've gave a shout out to before, from Malton in North Yorkshire. That's the home of the Yorkshire Coastliner buses, Ryan Swain, who recently undertook a challenge to raise money for charity. And he was going to try and skateboard for 24 hours at an airfield in Yorkshire, with the aim of breaking the world record for the longest distance skateboarded in that 24 hours. Sadly, the weather was to put paid to that record initially, and then Ryan suffered an injury with a torn hamstring. He did manage to complete 11 hours, and on the screen now are the figures that he's raised for the various charities concerned. It's a fantastic effort by Ryan, and I'll put the link to his YouTube channel in the top right hand corner so you can have a look at his channel and see some of the stuff that he's done. And yes, when you look at that channel, that does indeed include him and 4 others doing a full Monty for charity. Ryan, I hope you don't mind me mentioning that, but in regards to the money you've raised for charity, good on you, mate. As usual, we'll start off this month with the shout outs to the 2 people who got me back into modelling many years ago, Richard Warren at Everard Junction and David Watson at Dean Park Station. So check their videos out, and also I hope you enjoyed the recent video from the Glenrothes Model Railway Show and the brief history I gave to you about the new town of Glenrothes, with it celebrating its 75th anniversary this year. Without much further ado then, let's go down to platforms 5 and 6 and get underway, and any comments, queries, suggestions, pop them in the comments box below. This is currently platform 5 and 6 here, and you can see that the surfacing isn't too great, and I need to try and do something with this bit here as well. What's going to happen therefore is we're going to install a new signpost here. Don't know where you can pick that up with the sun, and a lamp post there, and we'll put 5 and 6 on it. Everything you see on this platform will come off. Platform will get resurfaced with new platform surfacing from Scale Model Scenery to hide the joins, and then we'll start to replace everything. Another thing that I'm going to do is, just here I'm going to take away some of this ballast and extend this, move the buffer stops further along a bit, so instead of them being there, they'll be here. And I'm going to get a piece of scrap track and do the same here. Move that forward. The reason I'm doing that is, if you actually have a look, you can see the problem we've got here, the locomotive fouling the walkway there. We can't have that. So that small movement will create a big difference there. This coupler still needs a bit of work on it, but there will be a new coupler installed somewhere around here, and that's actually going to be the other part of the video too. I'm going to try to do trial and error. I'm not going to be doing any of the other platforms. We're going to just do platforms 5 and 6 in this video. What I need to do first of all is remove this, and you'll notice immediately I've torn the concrete surface. Not a problem. because I do actually have some concrete surface that's spare, and that'll be going on there, and it'll be going along there as well to cover that join over, and then we'll get the signs installed, and then we'll start to put the new surface down. One other thing just to point out to you as well is that I'm not actually putting new platforms down, it's just the surfaces that's getting changed. I'm not actually ripping up all the old platforms, but I do have a couple of things that I need to actually try and glue back down again as well, as time permits. This is a couple of things to give you an example of how it will look later on. The planters are getting moved further up, and they'll be replaced by proper ones from scale model scenery eventually, along with new daffodils as well. This is actually a station passenger seating. Got that at the Glenrothes Model Railway Show at the Scooney Hobbies stall. And this is actually a seat pod from West Hill Wagon Works. Put that on there like that. Got that at their stall at Model Rail Scotland. I have seen footage of these at Perth Station in 1989 outside, so they're absolutely fine for the outside bit here as well. And I'll have to actually glue that person on because, as you can see, she's just tumbling over all the time, so might look out of gauge there, but I think putting it like that will be absolutely fine. But as I say, I'm not glued anything in yet, that'll come later on. I need to actually get on now and get the first bit of this platform done and here done. Now whilst I'm here, first shout out of the video, well, third shout out of the video rather, give a check out to West Blyth MPD set in the northeast of England, and give a shout out, a check out please also to Ebsworth Street and Gordon's Lane set in the south east of England. Right, well it's a nice spring day now as I film this next bit, and if I just put the camera back, I think it's going to rain. No, I haven't been singing. Anyway, I've not got the light on in the shed now, but I just wanted to show you that I've now got platforms 5 and 6 resurfaced. These lamp posts, I had to cut the bottoms off them using rail clippers, and then I've had to super glue everything on. That explains the stains that you just see there. These people are glued down using Yoo-Hoo glue. This isn't glued down. Now this is actually one of the plastic red pod seats I got from the West Hill Wagon Works stall, and that's what a person sitting passenger from a Bachmann set that I got at the Scooney Hobbies stall at the Glenrothes Model Railway Show, and I've positioned that there so it's opposite my uncoupler. I've put the planter here, but I'm going to get new ones from scale model scenery in the future that'll look a lot better than that effort, so I'll leave that there for the moment. The platform surface is down, admittedly it's a little bit bouncy there, but no, it's done now, so what else can I do? But as you can see there, I've got the joins, the gaps all covered that you see there. You don't see them there now, and I've got 5 and 6 on there. The spare bits of tarmac I've kept because eventually I'm going to resurface this whole area as well. So that'll be another job to do, but that's going to be well into the future. But this is platforms 5 and 6 done. All I've got to do now is make up a couple of luggage trolleys, and then make up a little rack to keep them in, and then that'll be this all completed here. Now a couple of shout outs I'll give to you. First of all, I'll give the shout out to my good friend Mike from Leven, who has the layout Pudham Junction. So if you check him out please, Pudham Junction, that's on Facebook. And if you check out this boy band tour on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, Just the Brave, they're from Glasgow. And guys, I'm going to ask you to do us a little favour one day, Just the Brave. I want you to come to see my layout, and I want you to actually name this locomotive Charles Rennie Mackintosh, because he was from Glasgow. So that's a job for Just the Brave one day, Caden and all the gang there. I want them through to name that. That is everything done here. So as I say, that's my next task, is to get luggage trolley made in the rack for that, and then do the sign at the retail park. One other thing I must point out to you is that Mike was over recently and he dropped me off this little 3-drawer bedside chest it was finished with, and I've actually made a good use for that. I've got some items kept in there, you see. Let me get rid of a whole load of rubbish that I didn't need, and I actually come across these extra brackets. He dropped me off some couple of pieces of old flat pack furniture. They've actually just been dismantled, and I'm going to make more shelves out of them to keep more locomotives on, you see, as well. With me now having a hell of an amount of locomotives, 26, I think I do need a bit more storage space than I have at the moment, so that's a really good. And there's a little thing for you folks. If you're looking for little storage units, go into these charity shops, or your friends might be disposing of one of these, and say to them that you want, tell them what you're wanting it for, and they will give you it. Or go into like a charity shop or a second hand shop, and you maybe get one of these cheap for say £5, £10, £20. And it'll just do you ideal, because it means the stuff's getting recycled, it's not going to waste, it means everybody's a winner. There we go. Right, that's this done, as I say. So next thing is get a luggage trolley built. Now, slight change of running order, because the luggage trolleys that I was going to build, they're a hell of a job to make. They're not coming out very well, so I'm going to leave them. I've got new ones on order from Model Railway Scenery, and once I get them, they'll be put on the layout instead. So I'm going to switch attention to making this sign up, and this sign here is the one that's going to cover over the retail park area. It'll cover the join in between the two street view images at the retail park area. So we've got here St Nicholas Gate Retail Park, same as the one in Carlisle, as well as B&Q in Halfords. I've put a couple of others on here. And one thing I will do is, when I make this sign up, I might put the House of Fraser sign in, I might not. I need to see just how large it's going to be. This will have to get stuck onto grey board, so it might be that this will get missed out, or it'll be moved up below the Halford sign. So I'm going to go down and get that done. While I'm doing that, those of you who know that I'm a rugby union fan will know that my Welsh club side that I follow is Cardiff RFC. So give them a check out on Twitter. The best club rugby union side in Wales, who have, in the intervening years, in the amateur days when touring sides would play against provincial or club sides before internationals, they've beaten New Zealand, they've beaten South Africa, and we have never lost to Australia, played 6, won 6. And also give a check out to Rupert Moon, former Llanelli scrum half, who, shall we say, was a very talented player back in the day. And I must actually mention that Rugby Board put this week on Twitter as I film this, the programme for the 1994 Welsh Cup final between Cardiff and Llanelli at the National Stadium in Cardiff, and Cardiff won that match by 15 points to 8. Didn't they, Rupert? I did say to Rupert I would not mention this, but of course I have to. Anyway, give Cardiff RFC a follow and become part of the Blue and Black Army. One sign up, and it does just hide the join. You get a slight vision of the join there, you can just slightly see it, but not too much. And I've dispensed with, as I say, the House of Fraser logo. It's just been too big, so there might well be more retailers in there, but I've just put B&Q and Odeon Cinema and Halfords, just that sort of thing there. Obviously through time I'll add some more people, I'll maybe get somebody putting graffiti in here, but that'll be that. And not forgetting in the future I'll need to add a couple of people in here too. We'll come back to this in a future episode because I've obviously got a couple of litter bins to put in and another bench somewhere and I'll say people. For the final part of this month's update though, we're going to come back to the station platforms and we're going to go off our trolley. This is what's arrived today from Model Railway Scenery, or Model Railway Scenes rather, down in London. And they're little passenger luggage trolleys. Now this is 3D printed and it's not ready yet to go on and be used yet because I've still got to paint the board there yellow on it, and I'll give it a spray paint first of grey primer. These are also 3D printed, so do handle them very carefully indeed. They can easily break, so do handle them very carefully. I'll put the link in the description below to the company's website where you can obtain these from. The trolleys of course are going to have to either sit on the platform or loose somewhere, or in the concourse, or in a trolley holding bay, and we're going to make one of them up too. I must make a confession, these are actually a little bit smaller than what I expected, so that's going to influence making the trolley bay for them. And one will sit here and they'll be sitting pretty much in these places as well when I come to redo these platforms. I'll get the stuff that I'm going to be using and let you see what's going to happen. This is the stuff that I got at the Westhill Wagon Works stall at Model Rail Scotland back in February, or some of the stuff. And this is going to be used in the depot area, but I'm also going to use some of this to make the trolley bays up. One of these each side, and with one of these in at the end. It's not easy, I know it's not going to be easy. How I'll have to do it is cut one of these bits off and then glue it to one of these and then glue another one to the other side. It's going to be the only way I can do it. And while that's drying, I could spray one of these trolleys that you see here, and then once the spray paint is dried, then I could put the yellow bits on as per necessary. A good reference, by the way, when you're doing this with the trolleys, I should add, is to actually take a look on websites such as Flickr to get an idea of how they should look. I've gave the first two trolleys a spray with grey primer. Spray short bursts from a distance, because if you go close up and spray continuously, they will actually blow all over the place, and be very careful in being 3D printed. With regards to the trolley rack, I've made the two outer bits just one section long. I'll cut the second section off one of these and use it to form the back, which means that the actual whole railings that I've got, I've not even had to touch them, not even had to open them, so they'll get used another time. Back in the bag they go now. Whereas these are ideal. They're probably a little bit too tall, but what I'll do is I'll get another trolley over. This has not been spray painted at all. I think that looks alright in there. Model Railway Scenes, by the way, do supermarket trolleys and a couple of other things. I've noticed they're doing NatWest Bank signs, which I'll consider for the future for the NatWest Bank building, because in the future I'm going to resurface the street scene, and I'll show you why. You can see, for instance, we've got drain covers there and the yellow lines going over them like that, and we've got this gap here. So this will all have to get resurfaced eventually, and I'll redo the pavements, because as you could see, some bouncy pavements around the place. So that's something that will be done in the future. But back to this, that's been done with super glue. That's all I've needed. Cut it off, use super glue. I'll go through it in detail when I come to do the platforms 3 and 4 how I've actually done that. But this is certainly platforms 5 and 6 now almost complete. We'll get the trolleys back in there. In the near future as well, music to Justin Noble's ears at Scale Model Scenery. These will be getting replaced with the proper ones that SMS have made. And I'll order new flowers to put in them as well. So I'll go back out now and I'll get that checked. And I'll get the area painted yellow where it needs to be yellow. Let it dry for a few minutes and then we'll get one in position and I'll put one on the concourse area just round about here. The yellow paint's still drying on the 2 trolleys, but once it dries it'll be fine. I had to reference a photo that a friend of mine, Bob Impett, sent. I had a photo of one of these trolleys somewhere so I could get an idea where to put the yellow paint, and it may need a touching up with more yellow afterwards. So, but that is how they would normally look in British Rail days, and you still find these at railway stations yet. An actual yellow board that you see there would say on it, not to be removed from whatever station, for instance Kirkcaldy, Edinburgh Waverley, Brighton, Newport, Penzance, Colwyn Bay, Llanelli. That would what it would say. But that's platforms 5 and 6 now resurfaced. As I say, this has just got to be replaced in the future. That'll be covered in a separate video another time. And that completes this month's update. Next month we're going to turn our attention to the depot area here, the depot car park, and get this all redone. And that's what some of that rather thicker grey board that I ordered by mistake will come in handy for, because it'll help form the road surface. We've got screws and holes and that all visible there. That's not right. We'll get it all redone properly and put new fencing and new barriers and redo this sign as well. That's all to come next month. So I hope you've enjoyed this month's update. I'm going to leave you now with a few running shots of some trains coming in and leaving Clydebridge. And you'll hear a couple of tannoy announcements as well. I'll put the link to the website for that in the description below, and a future video will actually look at the software used. I hope you've enjoyed this month's update, and please check out everybody else that I've mentioned to you in this video. And I look forward to your company next month. In the meantime, thank you very much indeed for watching. Do take care of yourselves and enjoy your layouts, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.
The next train to arrive on platform 4 terminates here. All change please on platform 4. The next train to arrive on platform 2 will be the 0855 Regional Railway Service to Liverpool Lime Street, calling at Hamilton Central, Carstairs, Carlisle, Oxenholme Lake District, Lancaster, Preston, Wigan North Western, Newton Le Willows, and Liverpool Lime Street only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. The next train to depart on platform 3 will be the 0850 Scott Rail Service to Glasgow Central, calling at East Kilbride, Haremyres, Thornton Hall, Busby, Clarkston, Giffnick, Thornleybank, Pollokshaws West, Crossmaloof, and Glasgow Central, only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. The next train to depart on platform 5 will be the 0852 Holiday Special Service 2, Scarborough, calling at Hamilton Central, Carlisle, Hexham, Newcastle, Darlington, York, and Scarborough, only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. First class accommodation is located at the front of the train. A buffet service is available on this train. The next train to depart on platform 1 will be the 0900 hours ScotRail Service 2, Edinburgh, calling at Hamilton Central, Motherwell, Shotts, Livingston South, Haymarket, and Edinburgh, only. This train is formed of 3 coaches.